Okay. Just let me repeat once. Okay, what I said, that there is a document, okay, where we have all of the questions regarding 1D array and 2D array, okay, and the 2D array is not completed yet. I will upload some more questions. I will modify this document and upload some more questions on 2D array, and there is the solutions of those problems. I will give you the access of both of the document to you guys, okay, and what you need to do, you need to try all of it and if there is any problem, you can see the solution. Don't see the solution like at first when you are doing it. Try it once, okay, give it a try, and if it is not, like if you can't do it, if it is not like going well, then you can see the solutions, okay. And I will make sure that I will make you see some of those programs, and the first 5-6 programs are too easy to do, so I don't think you need to do that. From 8 to 9 you can start, okay, and after 17-18, not 17-18 actually, like we have seen how to merge to 1D array, how to delete element from 1D array, how to insert an element from 1D array. We have seen all of this. From 2021 there is a bit like tricky questions. Just give it a try, and if it can't, like if you can't do it, then we'll see, okay. And there is 2D array programs we haven't touched yet, but when we'll do 2D array programs, I will make you see some 2D array programs as well, and then we, like you need to do this assignment also, okay. First assignment, okay, why I'm like doing it right now, like why I'm making you guys see these documents right now, because the syllabus is almost complete. It is 90% complete. There is no theory related topics left overall. So now we need to practice programs properly, because there is 60 marks on programs, okay. So that's why we need to practice programs a lot, okay. The second assignment will be this document, OOPS assignment, object oriented program related programs, okay. Sure. So here is also some program. So in this document there is no separate document for solutions. The solution and the question is in the same document, okay. So here is the question and here is the solution. Question, solution, and again the same rule, you have to follow the same rule. First give it a try. If you can't, then only see the solution, and if still you can't like clear what's happening, then I will make you see, okay. Okay, that's all. Okay, one thing, Anvesha, tell me, switch case completed, right? Switch, yeah, switch. Okay, just one thing is left, that is nested loop and break and continue, isn't it? Mathematical library, I've also uploaded a video, right? Okay, you need to do one thing. You, not only you, all of you, I'm telling that you guys need to do one thing. Just check all the mathematical library methods like before the next class, okay. And in the next class, if you have any problem regarding any method, just let me know. Okay, clear? Hello, you need to knock me off in the next class if there is any problem regarding any method of mathematical library methods, okay. Clear? Okay. And there is also 5 questions regarding OOPS. Sorry, these are some easy questions. I also upload some more questions in this document as well, okay. I'll also upload some more questions, okay. That's all. And the third document is regarding increment decrement problem. We have done this type of problems. So there is 10 problems, and you need to find out the solution for this 10 problems. If you can do this 10, then we can say that you are ready for any type of increment decrement problems, okay. Okay, so by tonight I will give the access to all of you for this 3 document, okay. You will have the access of these 3 documents, and you need to do all of it. You can take 1 month, okay. And another, last and not the least, obviously, thing is exams. Okay, so from the next week, that is like from tomorrow to next Sunday, there will be one exam, and I will tell you the date and time, where there will be two slots. Okay, if you guys want to give the exam at that time, you can do, or another time you can do. Okay, and like there will be two slots, and like there will be two question sets as well. Okay, so don't try to check the question set, the previous question set, it won't work. Like yeah, if you can see the like it will help for some suggestions as well, obviously, but it won't be the same. Okay, will it be conducted online? Yes, it will be conducted online. You need to like I will give you the question paper, for example I will give you 3 hours, and I will, after providing the question paper, I will tell you that when you need to submit it. So you will get another 10 to 15 minutes to make the PDF of your answer sheet, and you need to send me after that. Okay, okay, now tell me one thing, what should be the best time to take exams, all of you? I want to know your like suitable time, best time to take exams, like what should be the proper time? What, this time, evening? And Anvesha, Ankit? After 8, right? That means around evening, right? Okay, Ankit? Monday 8 or what? Sunday night. Okay, okay, so okay, so as of now, then the first time slot will be Monday 8. Okay, next Monday I can't confirm right now, like if you have any exam tomorrow or not. I will confirm it by tonight. Okay, and if you don't have any exams by tomorrow, like on tomorrow, so it is confirmed that the next exam tomorrow I have chem. Okay, if you can't attend tomorrow's exam, there will be another slot. I told you, na, there will be two slots. So it is confirmed that the second the second Monday, that is 16th October, there will be one exam. Okay, and second time slot, if I take on Sunday after 8 or 8:30, no, 8:30 will be a little like. Acha, tell me one thing, that if I start taking exams on 8, like at 8 p.m, so it will last for like it will go on for until 11. Is it okay for you? Okay, so 8 to 11. Okay, okay, now let's start. Let's start with bubble sort. Okay, so bubble sort. Okay, so in bubble sort we know what was the approach, right? Okay, let's start from selection sort. I think it would be easier for you. Selection sort is a bit easy than bubble sort. Okay, now just a second. Okay, sorry, we need to see one thing, just nested loop. I forgot about that, my bad. Let's see nested loop, and after that we'll see bubble sort and selection sort. Very small and important, obviously important topic. So nested loop means what I told you, that nested, anything nested means one inside another. Okay, so if I say that I have a for loop, that let's declare a variable int I and another variable, that is j. Okay, now if I say that I have two for loops, one inside another, I have two for loops, one inside another. So what I can write, that is for I equals 0, that is the syntax, I less than, for example, 10, I plus plus. And usually what we do, for example, we need to print hello world 10 times. So then only what? Scanner class. Scanner class what? Like to take inputs. Okay. Just then we need to import java dot util dot scanner and scanner sc equals to system.n, right? And then let's declare another variable, that is n, and n equals to sc dot next int, right? And let's use n here, right? Okay, so now if we have to print hello world 10 times, so what we do, we write a for loop and we put the limit 10, like in condition we put 10, and we write the print statement here, right? Now what I am saying no, we use a nested loop. Now we need to use a nested loop. So in case of nested loop, there will be another loop inside a loop. Okay, now let's declare another loop, that is for j equals to 0. Okay, why I can't use I inside the second loop? Because look, I is for the outer loop. Any updation of I, any modification of I, that will be reflected to outer loop. So in case of inner loop, we need to use another variable. Okay, let's see, then you will understand. Second is j less than n, again same condition, j plus plus. Okay, now let's print the value of I and j. Here I should put a space. Okay, now let's print it. Oh, semicolon. Let's see. So they are asking for input, right? So let's say 5. Look what happened. I gave the input 5. Now I will start from 0, and then it will go inside, and j will start from 0. Now this inner for loop will run up till the value of j is 5, right? So look what happened. The value of I is 0, j is 0, and okay, let me do in this. Okay, the value of I is 0, the value of j is 0 getting printed, because for the first time input is 5. No, you can place the input here, there. Here SC dot next time, I wrote the line, here is the line. Okay, okay, so for the first time, look, the value of I is 0, the value of j is 0 getting printed. Okay, second time, the inner loop will increment the value of j excuse me. So the inner loop will increment the value of j, and the value of j is now 1. Okay, now I am again printing the value of I. Why there is no modification in the value of I? Because the inner for loop will run, and until the inner for loop breaks, the outer for loop won't update the value of I. For each iteration of inner for loop, each iteration of outer for loop, the inner for loop will run fully. Okay, look, the inner for loop will run from 0 to 4, then the outer for loop gets modified and it become 1. The value of, like, the variable value of what I am saying, yeah, the variable value of outer for loop gets modified, and that is 1. And again the inner for loop starts from 0. Why 0? Look what is happening. Let's take a smaller input, then it would be a bit easier. Okay, let's take 3. Okay, now let's dry run it. Okay, look, so let's place I here and j. Okay, now initially the value of I is 0. Value of I is 0, and what is the value of j? And the inner and then the next line will be executed, and the value of j is also 0. Okay, what will get printed? That is 0 0. Now, so I am inside outer for loop as well as inside inner for loop right now. Okay, now it will print this line, and there is no line left, right? So it will go to the inner for loop and check the condition. Is the condition false? No, because the value of n is 3 and the value of j is 0, so it is true. So it will update the value of j, and again it will execute this line. So again, what is the value of I? That is again 0. What is the value of j? That is 1 in this case. Again the same thing will happen. The value of I is again 0 and the value of j is now 2. Okay, now the value of j will update and it will become 3, right? It will become 3. Okay, now is 3 less than 3? No. So the inner for loop will break. So the inner for loop will break, and after this line, what line I have selected? After this line, there is no line left for this outer for loop. So then the outer for loop condition will be checked, because there is no line, na? So after this line, what I have selected right now, after this line, that outer for loop condition will be checked, and that is I less than n, and the value of I was 0, and obviously it is less than n because the value of n is 3. Okay, I will be incremented, so the value of I will be 1. Value of I will be 1. Again it will come to the inner for loop. Okay, again all of this will be again executed. That means the value of j will be again initialized. Like whatever happens for the first time to execute a loop, that will happen again, because the last time value will be, like in the last time what was the value of j, it will be updated by this line, by this portion. Okay, that is j equals to 0. So again the value of j will be 0, the value of j will be reset. So the value of j will be 0 and it will be printed, that is 1 0. Okay, again the value, that is the only the single line, like one and only line of inner for loop. So it will again after executing this line, it will again check this condition, that is 0 less than n, obviously 0 less than n. So it will update the value of j, that is 1, and again it will print the value of I, which was 1, and the value of j, which was currently the value of j is 1. So it will print 1 1. Look, it printed 1 1 in this line, and it will keep on going until 2 2. After 2 2, when the value of I j is 2, it will break from the inner for loop, and then it will update the value of I also, right, and the value of I will be updated to 3, and condition won't satisfy, so it will break out the loop. Is it clear? Is it clear, or like I have to do 1 2 more steps? Hello? 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 Tell me quickly. How is OT printing again? OT means? How is it printing 0 again? Because each time, look, because each time the inner for loop completes, okay, after completing the inner for loop, it will go to the outer for loop and it will update the value, right? What is the sequence? That is, at the first time, for the first time only, it will initialize and check and then start executing. But from the second time, what a loop does, it will increment, check, and if the condition is true, it will execute. Again increment, check, condition true, execute, right? So when the first loop, when the inner loop is getting completed, like completing its execution, it will go to the outer loop, right? It will increment the value, that's why it becomes 0 to 1, right? So I plus plus, that is 0 to 1. It will check. So what it is checking? It is checking that if 1 is less than 3, yes, it is true. So as it is true, it will execute the loop body, right? Okay, let me do it like this way. It will execute the for loop body, and which for loop? The outer for loop. And what is the the body of outer for loop? That is this line, this portion. This portion is the body of outer for loop, right? Now we need to think that how this loop will execute. So this loop will execute from the first, not from the last scenario, because when any loop, when anything is getting executed, it will start from the fresh, okay? Like in the last time, in previous case, not previous case actually, in the last time, in the last iteration, the for loop, the inner for loop gets executed, and it it breaks the loop or breaks out the loop. Why? Because the condition was not true anymore, right? The condition was not true anymore, that's why this loop didn't get executed any further, right? So but again, when the outer for loop is getting executed, look, when the outer for loop is getting executed, that inner for loop will get executed again. For the next iteration of outer for loop, the inner for loop will get executed, okay? And as I say that for the outer for loop, for the next iteration of outer for loop, the inner for loop will start from the first. So what will happen? The j value will be initialized, and then it will be checked, and as it is true, it will print, and then the j value will update, check, print, update, check, execute, update, check, execute, until the condition is false. Again, when the inner for loop condition is false, it will check the condition for outer for, it will update the value of I, and it will check the condition for outer for loop. If the condition for outer for loop is true again, then it will execute the body of outer for loop again. That means the j will be initialized to 0 again checked, again execute. Clear? Anvesha, clear? Anvesha, sure you are? Ankit, clear? Okay, that is an important topic. Why that is an important topic? Because we need this topic to do bubble sort and selection sort. Okay. Okay. Now one more thing, that is break and continue. Need to make it. Okay, break and continue. I need a main method. And let's take a for loop. Let's take a for loop. Let's take from let's take from here. Okay. What? Okay. Obviously we need to declare the value of I and all. So let's declare int I comma n. I'm just taking it from here. Call okay, anything else? I, there is no I, there is only j. Okay. Now there is two keywords in Java, one is break and the second one is continue, and we need to learn what is the role of break and what is the role of continue. Okay, so let's see.